The first batch of Booker's 2025 is here. Berries batch 2025-01. Let's get into what it smells and tastes like. And at the end of the video, I've got a special little treat for you guys just because I appreciate you so much. So stay tuned all the way to the end. Let's get to it. The first batch of Booker's, this is a quarterly release. So typically there's been 4 batches released each year. Except for, I think, 2016, there were extra ones. And then in 2020, there was only 3. Tragic. Past few years, there's been 4. Each of these batches is named after someone or something that's special to Fred No. So this one is named after Barry Barish. He's a former Jim Beam chairman and CEO. And he was a good friend with Fred and Freddie. They talk about a story where he threw a big party to celebrate their 200th year making whiskey, which is a huge milestone, and how he just really pumped things up, made it a very memorable occasion, and really did a ton to help the brand. So this goes out to Barry Barish. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, 2024. A little bit about this bottle. It is 125.7 proof, 7 years, 2 months, 4 days old. As you can see, I haven't even cracked it open yet. I've been waiting just for you guys. Let's do that now. Booker's comes in this signature black sealed wax top. They got these fancy insignia and ribbons on there. It's a classy bottle. Not to mention the little cabin that it comes in, this fancy wooden box. Today I wanted to bring back my rating system for you guys. Got away from that for a long time. But the categories are nose, palate, finish, and mouthfeel. There's possibility of 5 points in each category, 20 being the highest possible score. That way you can kind of get a better idea of just how I'm rating these. Now, this being as high proof as it is, I want to give it a minute to just open up. I'm a big fan of Booker's. These are some of my Booker's bottles over here. It's always interesting and unique. I appreciate the stories behind them. Some have been big misses, some are huge hits. All of Booker's bourbon, and I've said this before, all of Booker's bourbon is great bourbon. Some of them are exceptional. Even the worst Booker's is great bourbon. Thankfully, the price on this is still right at $100. I ended up getting this for $90, and I'm sure it's because Fred watches my channel, and I've said a couple years now that I'm just gonna have to stop buying all of them if they go up in price. What's up, Fred? Thankfully, no price hike here. And what's interesting, this batch is available everywhere. Several stores around me did a pre-sale, which was cool, made sure that I was able to grab one for certain, but they're just kind of sitting on the shelves. Nature is healing. It's a good sight to see for us that enjoy drinking bourbon. I know for Jim Beam, they probably like it being a little bit more in high demand, but this batch in particular is not so scarce, which is cool. Got my paper, my pen for my rating scale. Let's start with the nose. Great place to start. I always like to look at the color just for kicks. It's fairly dark, nice coppery amber on the nose now. Okay, a lot of sweetness right away. Dark cherry cola, caramel. Ooh, I love this nose. Really like it. Some sweet oak in there. But yeah, dark cherry, cola, caramel, sweet oak. Fantastic. I'm gonna give that nose a 4.2. So out of 5, 3 would be average, 4 is slightly above average, 5 is the best, 4.2, that's really solid. Now, on the taste. This tastes promising. It's my first sip, so I want to just kind of let my palate get acclimated to having bourbon in it today. Let's go for another. All right, so the dark cherry cola notes are there. There's way more oak and spice than I expected, which is a slight bummer. I'm not an oak fan. So a little bit of bittery, spicy oak. But it's pretty complex. I mean, it's got some good richness to it. cherry cola up front, leveling off into spicy oak. So on this one, I'm gonna give the Palate a 3.7. And I'm kind of rating this not against all bourbon, but against other Bookers. Because to put this against other bourbons is not exactly fair, because Booker's is in a league of its own. So I'm kind of ranking this against other Bookers. Now the mouthfeel, it's got a nice mouthfeel to it. And the more I drink it, the less I get focused on that oakiness. It's still pretty prominent, but it's very much more cherry forward and a little bit of caramel. Maybe a little bit of chocolate, milk chocolate in there, a little bit. So the mouthfeel I'm gonna give it 3.8. Now the finish, it's got a decent finish. It's not too drying from the oak. It's still going. It's got a good finish to it. It hangs around. It does dry out the tongue a little bit at the end. Okay, so it's definitely at least a 4. Yeah, so I'm gonna go straight 4 on that one. Solid finish, which gives me a total score of 15.7 on this one. Again, highest possible scores out of 20. And this is slightly skewed because it's compared to other Bookers, not just bourbon in general. So is it worth it for the price at $100 or $90 as I got it? If you're a Booker's fan, definitely. If you're new to Bookers or you're on the fence about Bookers, it's a maybe, just to be quite honest with you. For sure, again, if you're a Booker's fan and you appreciate the differences of the batches and you're already sold on it, yeah, it's a good batch. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. But don't way overpay going for it, and don't kill yourself trying to find it. If this is your first Bookers, again, it's gonna be decent, but there are ones that are even better than this. Now, like I said, a little special treat for you guys. Out of retirement, I'm bringing you 2024 01 Springfield batch. And as a refresher, this is 124.5 proof, 7 years, 7 months, 8 days old. Now, you can see after a year, I haven't had too much of it. Part of that is because I have a lot of other bottles open that I've been working on, but especially because it really was not a great batch to me. But it's always fun to revisit where we were a year ago, compare it to this one, see what's happened since then, if we've moved up, down, or sideways. Kind of let this open a little bit. It's already been sitting there, so it's not brand new, fresh to the environment. Now, what I didn't like about this one is it was very, very oaky and very citrusy. And together it just was not a profile I'm looking for from Bookers. This one's a little bit more ethanol-y on the nose. It does, it smells like orange, a little bit of chocolate in there. Oak. Okay, let's taste it. No, okay. Instant. This is way worse than this one. This is so much better. The mouthfeel is thin, the finish is quick, the oak is bitter and harsh and acrid. There's barely any sweetness to it. This really was a rough batch. Oh gosh. Man, that is so off profile for Bookers. So, definite improvement. First batch of Bookers 2025, very nice. Big step up from 2024. Very optimistic for the rest of the year's releases of Bookers. Stay tuned. This is one that I always get, so I will be sure to go over it with you guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. And until next time, cheers.